What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's reading wrap-up is for the month of August 2024. I say that specifically because somehow my videos from the past get a lot of views and then sometimes comments and people get confused. So this is August 2024. I am happy to say that I had no DNFs for August. Amazing. Fantastic. It's finally happened. I haven't had the best track record for DNFs this year, but that means I'm just trying new things. So there's always a positive spin. The first book that I read and finished in August would be Becoming Madam Secretary by Stephanie Dray. That was 5 perfect stars. And I'm just like, I'm really excited. I did a review on it. It was doing fine, though. Like, my historical fiction book reviews don't do great. That's totally okay. I just want to put it out there. And so, not even 24 hours after I uploaded Becoming Madam Secretary, Stephanie Dray shared it on her Facebook page and tagged me. And then she followed me on the Facebook page, and I'm kind of dying inside. So I'm on cloud 9 for probably the rest of the year. I just love to see it. Yes, I fangirl over certain people sometimes. I mean, she would be like probably number 1 because I've read nearly all of her books, and 99% of them are 5 stars. And like there's 1 or 2 that are 4 stars, but those are like because she's included in a anthology, you know, so I'm also thinking about the other stories. But yeah, no, perfect. She's perfect. Okay, moving on before I embarrass myself. Number 2 is The Book of 3 by Lloyd Alexander. That's 4 stars, and that's the first book in the Chronicles of Pryden, and you probably know about it because The Black Cauldron was turned into a Disney movie and it almost bankrupted Disney. Why they chose The Black Cauldron, which is the second book, not the first book, to do the movie, I don't know, and it's not even close. So maybe that's why it didn't do well, also because it's really dark. But that's actually not the books so far. The first and second book, there is a lot of dark themes, yes. There's a war going on, but there's also a lot more, I would say, a lot more positivity. So I don't know what Disney did, but they did it. Here we are. Number 3, Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRoe. That's 4 stars. That's like, it's not even erotica. People are saying it's erotica. It's not. There's a whole story. There's a lot of sex scenes, yes, but it's a complete story. So it's not erotica. I would say like dark academia romance, paranormal romance, stuff like that. Harley does have a content warning list, so look into that because there are a lot of BDSM scenes in the novel. So look into the content warnings before you get into Her Soul to Take. But it's a trilogy, so if you like it, then the other 2 are also available. That was the first book for the Messed Up Book Club, and we all enjoyed it. Pretty sure that we're going to read the other books, but in like 2025, because we have a lot of books already planned. And I did give it 4 stars because the main character was annoying in many ways, but in other ways she was fine. I don't know. It was a great book overall, but she did not put herself in some great situations, or people would like take her out of the bad situations and she would get back into it. Yeah. Number 4, The Vampires of 1863 by J.M. Seeley. 4 stars. That's a prequel to one of Jamie's other books. I won The Vampires of 1863 in a raffle, and so I was really interested to get into it because it's short. I like short and sweet. And I did give it 4 stars because I didn't feel a complete connection with the main character and her sire and some other characters, but the story itself was very interesting, getting to know the main character and how and why she was turned into a vampire. Number 5, Dear Writer, Are You Intuitive by Becca Syme and Susan Bischoff. That's 5 stars. It's a nonfiction book. You can see it's right there. I did a discussion and review on my channel about this. It's for writers, and it's directed at writers who can't seem to outline, or they just know things but they can't tell people why, they just know. So if that sounds like you, I would check out that review and or book. Number 6, The Black Cauldron by Lloyd Alexander, 4 stars. This one was really interesting because I saw the difference between the movie and the book, and it's really different. So I was a little thrown off. I grew up with the Disney movie, not this series, which is a bummer because if I read these when I was older, I think I would give them all 5 stars, but I can't completely relate to like 12, 13-year-olds. And then what's going on in, okay, are they interesting? In a way, yes, but this is 1960s high fantasy. It's coming right off of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So there are tropes that it's new. It's just brand spanking new for the 60s. But because I've read so much fantasy, it's kind of in my face, and it would probably be in your face as an adult, and you're like, wow, this is very tropey, and like, I'm trying not to say cliche because this is from the 60s and I just happened to be reading it in 2024. I should have read it earlier, but I didn't know about it. So there's like that weird mind thing going on. I absolutely know that this came first, just like the Lord of the Rings came first. So they set up high fantasy and tropes, and it was not cliche whatsoever back then, but now I don't know if these would be published as is, which is interesting. They would have to be rewritten in some way or another. Number 7, The Devil All the Time by Donald Ray Pollock, and that's 3 stars. That was the second book for the Messed Up Book Club, and yeah, it was fine. I don't understand. I don't understand how writers and editors and publishers are still going for head hopping. Why? Let's say, for example, and I'm going to use this bus driver 2 times because this is why it's 3 stars and not higher. There's a bus driver in the beginning. Head hopping, first point, because there's a second point. Head hopping, first point. We have like a couple pages of the bus driver, then the main character, and then another main character, and then another main character. And that could be within a few paragraphs of being in the head of another character, and then we jump to another character, and then we jump to another character. And why are we doing this? This is 2000, what was it? It's mid-2000s. I should know when it was published. It's the 21st century. Why are we head hopping? And then second point, we only see this bus driver 1 time in the beginning. So why does he get to ramble and rant for 3-ish pages about his life? Is that relevant? Does that need to be in the book? No, it doesn't. And that happens quite a few times with side characters or just random characters that you can't even say that are side characters. They're just there, that they will ramble and rant and tell, you know, like half of their life story or their full story, and then we never see them again. What was the point? I did not need to know 90% of what that bus driver was saying or thinking. So that was a thing. But the story was interesting enough that I gave it 3 stars and I finished. And then, actually, I watched the movie, which is on Netflix, with my husband, and he got really depressed. He's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, look, it was part of the Messed Up Book Club. I mean, they're not happy books. And so, that was like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. They did clean up that stuff, of course, because you're not going to have these random characters thinking aloud as the scene goes. So that was cleaned up. And they also, another thing, like, there were weird time frame jumps, and it was not linear whatsoever. So that also was a little confusing. They kind of fixed the time jumps, but they went back and forth a lot. And I thought it was really fascinating that Donald was the narrator for the movie, and they decided to narrate whole passages from the book onto the movie as the actors were acting silently. I don't know about that. So we're here. I actually think that the movie did it better. So if you're interested, I would look into the movie first, honestly. Number 8, LAPD 53 by James Eloy. That's not rated. That dude was writing like he was on a crap load of cocaine. And at first I was like, okay, interesting. And then it just got worse and worse. And then, no thank you. So, not rated. I'm kind of surprised that this was funded by, oh shit. It's funded by a museum about the LAPD in California. And it's in their archives and you can buy it and all that stuff. Okay, I mean, okay. There were a lot of inappropriate jokes in here, and his personal opinion in here, and just made up stuff that, like, he thinks that, okay, this one suicide might be this, but, like, that's your opinion. Why is this in here? And why are you using so many damn exclamation marks? Okay. So, that wasn't a DNF, because it was still interesting, but in a weird way. Do I recommend it? Not really. Which is not great, because it was funded by a museum. But, you know, okay. Moving on. Number 9, The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. 4 stars. I actually later, not that late, into this month, there will be a non-spoilerly book review on The Haunting of Hill House. I actually watched the TV show first. It's not like the book. Surprise. Yeah, no, it was actually a surprise to me. And so it was like I was reading a whole different story, but just kind of sort of just a little bit connected. So that was actually an interesting experience. And I think The Haunting of Hill House limited series is fantastic on its own. And I think the book is fantastic on its own. And I would probably, if you haven't seen or read either, I would read the book first and then go and watch the show, because there's hints about what's going on, and like the characters mentioned in the TV show won't be just random characters. They would have some type of meaning. And number 10, The Castle of Lear by Laurie Alexander. That's the 3rd book in the Chronicles of Pride and book series, and I gave that 4 stars. That was kind of cozy in a weird way because Taryn makes friends with a few new people, and it's just cute, even though they're trying to protect trying to protect the princess that they're also best friends with from being kidnapped and killed, but in a high fantasy supportive way. So we love to see that. Thank you so much for watching my August 2024 reading wrap up. Let me know in the comments how your reading month went, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.